friends, it's time for our week ahead reading for the week of March 10th to March 16th, 2025. Astrologically, we have the full moon lunar eclipse happening in Virgo on the 14th, and then we have Mercury retrograde beginning on the 15th. I'm going to do separate readings on those things, so we're just going to focus on the main things that you need to know kind of more like in the everyday world this week for March 10th to March 16th, 2025. And as always, I'm setting the intention that this is going to resonate the most with my YouTube subscriber collective. So if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe, like the video so that you get to really be part of this collective. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate you. All right, let's take a look at what you can expect for this week ahead for March 10th to March 16th, 2025. What can this collective expect for this week ahead, please, Spirit? March 10th to March 16th, 2025. March 10th to March 16th, 2025. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, cool. Wow. Okay, 4 cards in the reading so far, and you guys, 2 of them are the 10 of Stars and the 10 of Cups. And the first card that came out before I even really was I mean, I was obviously setting the intentions, this card was for this reading, of course, but this came out quick. The 10 of Stars was the very first card, and then the 10 of Cups is also here. This is a beautiful sign for this collective for this week. It's giving a lot of family energy as well, feeling very loved by your ancestors, feeling very connected. Maybe there's some sort of family activity that you're doing that makes you feel more I don't know if there's maybe some tradition or something like that that you are doing that's calling in that type of I'm not saying you're necessarily trying to activate your ancestors, but it's almost you're calling in a loving energy because of honoring a tradition that was important for you, and it just surrounds you with this energy of love. And I actually feel it's bringing in a bunch of abundance for you as well. This is really a sign that you can have a really wonderful week. And I feel it is a reminder that even when astrologically, things can look really, it's eclipse season, that can be chaotic. It's obviously something that's coming, but that doesn't mean that you personally cannot have a good week. With the 3 of Wands coming out, and this was the card that came out kind of it took a little bit longer for this card to come out. What I'm getting is that if you have travel plans this week, that it is something that could be a bit delayed. So expect delays in travel. I'm also getting that if you were planning on making travel plans this week, you might want to pause before you book the plans. If you have to make them, obviously do that. And especially if it's going to see family, I feel that's also particularly okay. But if this is more a pleasure type of trip, a vacation, it seems maybe hit pause on trying to make this travel plan. It seems maybe not everything is fully illuminated right now. It also just seems really make sure that you have all the information before you embark on a journey, that you're really set up if you're gonna embark on a journey. Okay. I do also see the moon card. That was the last card that came out. I do feel that's kind of hey, the eclipse season coming is definitely gonna make some certain things cloudy. So almost enjoy this type of spring while you can. Yeah, I know it's not spring for everybody. Enjoy the time before the eclipse season while you can. Sorry, Spirit. Okay, Spirit's wait, you didn't address the card that was on the bottom of the deck. I was just excited to get more for you. So there was the Hermit on the bottom of the deck. I feel it's important that who you're spending your time with this week are really your cherished loved ones, whether it's your actual family, your chosen family. It's it's less about new people this week, I think, and more about really being with your cherished loved ones, not doing things that I feel you're also not doing people pleasing this week. That's very, very important. And and I do feel like there's times where you need to have time by yourself. So I feel like also the fact that it was like 10 of stars, 3 of wands, 10 of cups, the moon. Look at how like so much of a pattern that is, right? Like the 10s are very, very similar. And then the 3 of wands and the moon, both of them like kind of this individual person going on their individual journey. It's like making sure that you feel secure with your people and at home so that you can venture out. And I do see the Queen of Stars on the bottom of the deck. This person feels very secure at home, and so I feel like that's also part of it. Like really there's something about like being very secure at your actual residence. Okay, so if there's something that you need to take care of there, definitely do that. I feel like there's almost like this final phase of securing yourself before you're able to start something new. So it's like regain that final security so that you're ready to like take the next step in your transformation with the Death card and the Ace of Wands. I'm curious how this resonates for you, because this seems to be like a very spiritual message and almost like a psychological message. Is what just came through. Okay, so yeah, again, that was like the final, like reestablishing a final like form of security for yourself so that you can go through the next level of transformation. What I'm kind of getting is almost the idea of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where you're like making sure that you have what you need at home. You know, whether that's like making sure that you are completely set on your bills for a little bit, like you're looking ahead at like what your bills are going to be. You have like good groceries at home, your car is taken care of, like just stuff like that. Your place is clean, you've taken care of chores, spring cleaning, honestly, or fall cleaning if you're in the southern hemisphere, like whatever it is, just like kind of taking care of those like basic needs, so that then you have more space to do a bigger spiritual transformation, a bigger psychological transformation, right? If you're worried about like, I don't know what I'm going to eat this week, that makes it a lot harder for you to focus on like, oh, this childhood wound I need to deal with, right? So it's hard for you. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that, the 5 of Cups and the 6 of Cups, the inner child. Okay, so it's like, if you're focused on the mundane, like, stuff that's happening day to day, the like, like things like you're stressing about the cost of eggs or whatever, like that makes it really hard for you to focus on what your inner child needs, and then that makes it hard for you to like feel this abundance of love with the Ace of Cups under here too. Okay, so definitely make yourself feel secure and safe. This doesn't mean you're spending a ton of money. It's actually maybe the opposite of that, but it's like making sure that your finances are straight. King of Stars here now also, so that then you can focus on like this higher level of enlightenment. Normally 9 of Cups I would take as like a wish fulfillment. There's an emotional contentment here too, but I feel like this is more about enlightenment. This is about kind of like leveling up for yourself and getting yourself out of this mental prison. Okay, 8 of Crystals. Woo, new beginning with the Fool card. That's what this message is. Yeah, this very like intentional time of like of discovery for yourself. Okay, I feel like that's the main important message, but let's just take a look. We'll real quick look at maybe a couple other facets of life. Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe we look at like romance. I did see the King of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and now the Queen of Cups just came out. Tower crossed. Okay, so in terms of like your love predictions, we had seen the Tower for March. If you haven't watched the March predictions, you can go back and do that. There's a whole playlist for you, but with the Tower coming out crossed, we had seen the Tower come out a lot in the March predictions, and so I do feel like this week maybe some of the things that I had talked about in those predictions are coming more they're coming more. It's like expect more of that to happen. And it's like it's getting closer. I feel like the eclipse is gonna bring about a bunch of that. So just kind of like preparing yourself to be ready to deal with these like bigger emotional wounds, this psychological transformation for you. Get that security so that you're ready to embark on these bigger things. Especially I think that like we're gonna have towards the end of next week and then through the rest of March for sure. with eclipse season, with Mercury retrograde, you know, we're already in Venus retrograde. So I feel like that's what we're focusing on here with the Queen of Cups, Tower crossed, and then we have the Fool, the Eight of Stars, and the Four of Stars. I actually saw this clump of cards together on the bottom of the deck before, and then they just all fell out together. So it's really interesting. Like, we really needed to see this little series, and so it's really like, you know, in the love predictions, I talked a lot about how some of you are holding on to a person from the past that like more like a big X that like you're not really supposed to be holding on to. And then I talked about how some of you are holding on to like a view of a person that maybe isn't the view that you should hold on to them, for somebody that you actually could have more of a story with. And so I feel like this is like more calling attention to that idea of like, don't hold on to the ways that you've kind of thought of things before. You're deliberately embarking on something new. This is also strong Virgo energy. We do have the Virgo full moon and eclipse, and then the Fool card. I feel like also Uranus is just like shaking things up. So I feel like that's important for us. The Fool card is Uranus. Okay. Anything else that this collective needs to know for this week ahead? Thank you, Spirit. Seven of Stars. Give me more information about this. Okay. I feel like as you're, sorry, it's like I keep on like thinking I have the message, and then it's just telling me like I still don't quite. What else do they need to understand here? The Seven of Stars is about intention setting. We're not really doing a ton of intention setting during retrogrades, during eclipses, but the main intention that we can have is that we learn the lessons that we need to learn, that we can, like, that's more the intention, right? Like, maybe you kind of like release more to the universe. It's like I integrate the lessons that I need to integrate. I make the space for myself to learn the lessons I need to learn so that I can like ascend to my highest good. And I feel like maybe that's, yeah, there's the Justice card. Okay, I feel like that's kind of the intention that you're trying to set right now. So especially the Justice card is 11, like 1111 is about manifesting. So I feel like if you've been trying to do intention setting, manifesting, that's what you should be working on manifesting right now, is like setting intentions that you can ascend into your highest self, and that the eclipses and the retrogrades, things like that, are giving you the opportunity to learn lessons and integrate the lessons. Again, here's Saturn and Pisces, Eight of Cups. We're in that final, those final degrees of Saturn in the zodiac, so that then you can like come out, especially through Venus retrograde. This is Venus in Aries, and so Venus is retrograding in Aries right now. I feel like this is really in a lot of ways showing me like how the astrology of right now is working, and like making sure that you're setting intentions that line up with the astrology and not doing too much that is like trying to harness the chaos of the eclipse energy. The Fool card, like I said before, was Uranus, and Uranus is about chaos, and the eclipse can be chaos. And so you don't want to manifest in that energy. I feel like with the Four of Cups, it's also saying like you've been looking for some like clear answer, and it's like, yo, the answer has been there all along. You've already known the answer. You just don't like the answer. And it's like, just because you don't like the answer doesn't mean that it isn't the answer. Okay, that's the Justice card and the Three of Crystals. Yeah, it's like accepting the truth, even though the truth might hurt. Being brave enough with the Page of Wands to accept the truth, to accept the realities of some of your circumstances, especially in relationships, so that you can move forward in the way that's going to bring you the most joy with the Sun card, rather than continue to hurt yourself with the Nine of Crystals. So I feel like that's a lot of the intention setting that you're doing. Basically setting the intention, because the way the Seven of Stars fell out was also like on the Tower. And I feel like it's setting the intention that you can make it through the tower, and that the tower is truly in your highest good, that you're accepting the tower in your highest good. And I feel like that's going to allow you to like slingshot yourself forward with the 8 of Wands and help you manifest truly what your truest desires are. Even though, again, oftentimes when we think we're manifesting something, a lot of times we'll get our mindset on like a specific person or a specific job or a specific location we want to be in or something like that. And instead it's like, hey, spirit actually knows like what the reason you want that person is, because you want this type of relationship. So it's actually better to like, that person can't do that. So you can either have the person or you can have the actual relationship that you want. Or maybe like it's not the job. You want the feeling of the success. You want the fulfillment from that job, or you want that money from that job. That job can't give you those things. So you're like you're trying to manifest fulfillment, money, and success, but you're also trying to manifest this job that isn't going to give you those things. So sometimes you got to detach from the specific thing to get the big picture thing that you're looking for. And I feel like that's a lot of the intention setting that we have in this time. So, and especially I think around finances and job with Venus, and love with Venus. So I hope that helps, and let me know how it resonates for you.